Hi, it's Paul here from selfoutforlife.com, and today I'm going to talk about how to be happy and content and reveal my 10 happiness habits. Now, when you think about anything you want to do in life, the ultimate goal is usually to make you happy, and outside factors can have a play in making you happy, but it's also very much down to your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs, your attitudes, behaviors and lifestyle choices. Those are the main things that can make you feel happy or unhappy. So the first happiness habit is to develop close friendships. Close friendships are great for both your mental and physical health. They improve your mood, they boost your self-esteem, they reduce stress and also reduce your chances of getting sick as well, whether that's colds, flu or even something more serious. Spending time with close friends leads to a happier, more fulfilling life and increases your sense of belonging and purpose. Now, there was a study that showed that 94% of adolescents, so teenagers, saw their friends pretty much every day. And the same study also showed that 91% of retired people saw their friends pretty much every day as well. So something seems to go wrong in the middle years, whether it's work, family, kids, and that many of us don't spend much time with our friends, if any time at all with our friends during those years. And friendships are really important in difficult times as well, whether that's going through a divorce, losing your job, a serious illness or the death of a loved one. Now, a great long-term relationship can give you many of these benefits as well, but a great circle of friends can really help. It can make life happier, more fulfilling, more colourful and more exciting. And what I recommend you do, this is what I've started doing, is have a friend ritual, like a weekly friend ritual, where you take the time to meet up with a close friend once a week. So the second way to be happy and content is to take responsibility. So taking responsibility is the first step towards any change or improvement in life. And that includes taking responsibility for your emotional state, for your happiness. As soon as you blame the economy, someone else, your lack of skills or your lack of intelligence, your upbringing, your parents, being too tall or too short, your looks, your weight, the fact you might be too young or too old. As soon as you blame any of those things, you're powerless. You take away the ability to change and you feel like you're a victim. And when you feel like you're a victim and when you feel like you're powerless, then you're going to feel unhappy. So to be happy requires taking responsibility for changing anything that makes you unhappy, anything that makes you miserable or sad. And that's not easy. Taking responsibility is not easy. And it's something that I work on every day. And it's something you probably will need to as well. So just look at anything in life that's making you unhappy and think, can I take responsibility? What can I change about this? What can I do to not feel that I'm being a victim? So number 3 is to become a happiness detective. And this is all about noticing and focusing on the good things in your life, whether that's the good things about your health, about your work, about where you live, or about your family and friends. What tends to normally happen instead is that you focus on what you don't want, you focus on what you don't have, and you focus on what is missing in your life. So a great way to do this is to start practicing gratitude. So start to really notice and appreciate the things you already have in your life and the things that are going well in your life. And I talk about this more in a video on gratitude, which will appear up here right now. So remember that there's good in almost everything. So become a happiness detective and take the time to notice it. Now, if you're often unhappy, it will take time and a bit of effort for this to become a habit, but it can become a habit. It's just like building a physical muscle. You're building the mental muscle to start focusing on what you already have, what you already appreciate. And the more you do that, the more that your unconscious will pick up on that and the more that it will become a positive habit. So the fourth happiness habit is to set and achieve goals. Happy people set goals. So look at the different areas of your life. If you look at your main areas of life, such as work, relationships and health, you'll find that you're either improving in that area or you're declining. You rarely stay still in any one area of life. So to help ensure that all your areas of life are improving, set yourself goals. Now, many people don't set goals because there's a fear or a risk that they won't achieve the goal. And that's okay, that will happen from time to time. But generally, when you set goals, you will achieve them. And by achieving the goal, you've got out of your comfort zone a little bit and you feel good for doing this. So there's like a virtual cycle that goes on here, which is you set goals, you then create a plan. That increases your self-discipline, then you achieve the goal, then you feel good about yourself. That increases your self-esteem, your self-worth, and your happiness. And then, of course, you set more goals and the process continues. So setting goals is really, really important. We are goal-directed individuals, and that's a key to helping you become happier. So number 5 is to realize that happiness is an inside job. Long-term happiness doesn't come from achieving things in life. And this is one thing that many people get wrong. So why is that? Well, something called the Law of Familiarity kicks in. So let me give you an example. Let's say you get a significant promotion at work or you get a new job. You really enjoy that increased responsibility, that increased recognition. Perhaps you've got significantly more money coming in as well, so that's enhancing your lifestyle. And that's great, and that does make you happier. But over time, that starts to become normal. You start to spend more money to cater for the increased income that you have, and that starts to become normal and familiar. So then maybe you think, well, there's something else I need to do to be happy. So maybe it's I'll go and live in another part of the world. Okay, so you go and do that, and of course that feels really exciting. I did that 10 years ago, moving from London to Sydney, and it was great for the first few months, but then it started to become familiar and normal. So the law of familiarity means that anything new, anything significant that you achieve in life will eventually become familiar and normal. And a lot of people live by this "I'll be happy when" idea, which is also linked to this whole law of familiarity. So let's start with someone at school. So they're at school and they don't like the discipline of school, so they think "I'll be happy when I go to university." So they go to university, they have the nice freedom of university, but then they feel, okay, well, it's lovely being at university, but I'm broke. Okay, so I'm going to be happy when I get a job and I get some money. So they go to work and they graduate and they get a nice job and they've got some money coming in and it feels great. They can start to really spend some money and have a good time. But then, work comes with other challenges. There's more of a routine at work, there's stress, there's pressure from other people, bosses, that kind of thing. So you realize that's not it. So maybe you then realize, okay, well, when I find my ideal partner and I get married, then that will make you happy. And of course that happens, and of course that feels great. But over time that starts to become the new normal. And you can see how this can increase to, like when I have kids, I'll be happy. And then ultimately when I retire, I'll be happy. Okay, so a lot of people think of happiness as like on a deferred payment plan. I will only be happy when. And that's a kind of thinking that you've really got to stop if you want to be happy. You can be happy in this moment. There's almost like a limiting belief that I need to do this or I need to buy this in order to be happy. So remember that that's not true. Happiness is something you create from the inside. And you can be happy right now just by doing some simple things like being grateful for what you already have, or just changing your posture, so smiling and having an uplifting posture and feeling relaxed and that kind of thing. Just putting in some great music can help you feel happier in the moment as well, or just doing something that you enjoy right now. So what I've found is it's often the smallest and most basic things that make me happy, whether it's quality time with my wife, quality time with close friends, or just getting out in nature for a few hours. It's almost those little things that create those memorable moments in your life. Another thing that helps me feel happy as well is having a lot of variety. So if you're doing a lot of different things in life, then that law of familiarity kicks in. But because you're doing lots of different things, you're getting plenty of variety, none of it becomes normal and familiar. So I think that's a key to happiness as well. So the 6th happiness habit is to release resentment. When you feel resentment or a grudge towards another person, who feels it? You feel it. What does the other person feel in that moment? Nothing. They're probably not even aware that you're thinking about them or having any of those kind of resentment or grudge feelings. So resentment or a grudge is something that you hold inside. The other person's not even experiencing it. So when you hold resentment or a grudge against another person, it's you that's the victim. It's you that feels violated, and it's you that feels that someone else is stopping you or holding you back. It's not the other person. And it also means that you're not taking responsibility because you're blaming someone else, something that someone else said or did, on your level of happiness and your ability to succeed in life. So forgiveness is really important, being able to let go. When you do this, you're going to feel happy, you're going to feel joy, you're going to feel peace, and you're going to feel calmness as well. And a great way to release any kind of negative emotions is the Sedona method, and I cover that in another video that appears up here right now. So the seventh way to feel happy and content is to cultivate faith and peace of mind. Unhappy people tend to worry a lot. Happy people, on the other hand, have faith and a belief that everything will turn out okay. So how do you develop this? Well, here are a couple of ways. So firstly, having positive and soothing self-talk, a positive and soothing internal voice. So saying things like, you're doing your best, we'll work it out, and everything is okay. Another way is to welcome and accept all emotions. Let all emotions flow through you, the good and the bad ones. When you resist emotions, they tend to stay. When you experience them or express them, they tend to move on. So in a way, emotions are a bit like clouds in the sky. If you just let them pass, they will do, and they'll move to something different. Okay, so experience the emotions fully, let them happen, whether they're good or bad, and then they will just naturally move on by their own accord. So the eighth happiness habit is to face your fears. So facing fears and taking risks is key to being happy and content. When you don't deal with stuff, when you don't take risks, it tends to fester inside. Besides, taking risks and facing your fears and overcoming them feels great. It gets you out of your comfort zone, and you have that sense of aliveness that comes from achieving something that you thought was hard, or even something that you thought you couldn't actually do. So I encourage you to do one thing each day that is a little bit uncomfortable. It could be trying a different food at lunchtime. It could be tackling a difficult issue at work that you've been putting off for a few weeks, or dealing with a difficult person at work, dealing with something that needs resolving in that area. So with whatever types of risk you decide to take, make sure that they are calculated. Weigh up all the options first, and remember also that behind any risk there is the reward, there's the satisfaction, that feeling of elation, that feeling of aliveness that comes from tackling challenging and difficult things. So number 9 is to develop hope. So a lack of hope and a feeling that there is no way out is a key reason why people get depressed. So developing hope then is key to getting out of any kind of depression. Now this hope could be anything, including that you will find a way to find an answer or a solution to this problem, that you are doing the right thing, or that you are being guided by some kind of higher power that's going to help you through this. So depending on what your beliefs are around that kind of thing, the idea that there is something out there that's guiding you, helping you do the right thing, and that you're going to get through this. Your nervous system responds to your perception rather than the circumstances, and that's why developing hope is so important. And hope makes all situations possible and tolerable. So some ways to develop hope include working out all the steps from where you are now to where you want to be. Also looking for role models that have already overcome whatever adversity or challenge that you're going through right now. Thirdly, doing kind things for others. This is a great way to get out of your own head and to put those problems away for a while, and that is a great way to feel happier as well. And also practicing mindfulness, so the idea of just letting your mind focus on one thing at a time, that can get rid of a lot of those thoughts, those anxious thoughts, and make you feel more present and happy in the moment. So number 10, and the last one, is to not compare yourself with other people. Comparing yourself with others always leads to unhappiness. It's a recipe for misery because it gets you focusing on what you don't like about you and what you don't like about your life. So here are some tips to help you not compare yourself with others. Firstly, compare yourself with you and where you want to be in the future. So think about the you that you want to be in the future and start thinking more about that. So what is it you can improve? How could you become more loving? How could you become more successful? How could you become a nicer person today than you were yesterday? How could you improve in all areas of life? So you start comparing yourself with you rather than other people. Another thing is to be okay with your past. I'm sure there's things you probably regretted about life in the past. Maybe there were some things that were so difficult. Maybe some things were unfair. But be okay with all that. Remember that your past has helped you become the person you are today. It's helped you become a better person because of the adversities that have happened. And the final one is to have a rest from social media for a while. Social media tends to highlight all the great things that are happening in other people's life. It's the opposite of the news. The news always tells you what's going wrong in the world. Social media tells you all the wonderful stuff that's happening. Of course, the reality is something in the middle. So let go of social media, take a break from social media if you feel that is one thing that's making you feel inadequate or lacking something in some way. Finally, remember that when you look at other people that seem to have it all, when they seem to have a really great career, traveling all over the world, have a lavish house, a great car, just remember that they may not be happy inside. You'd never know what someone is really thinking inside. So although they might seem to have all that external success on the outside, it doesn't necessarily mean that they are happy. So these were my 10 happiness habits to help you be more happy and content. I hope you found this video useful. I hope you start applying some of these into your life right now. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, please give it a thumbs up, and do leave a comment below. I'd love to hear what you think. And if you haven't already, do subscribe to this channel and click the bell notification. That way you will always be notified whenever I release future videos just like this one. And also go and check out my website, that is selfhelpforlife.com. On there you will find the written versions to many of these YouTube videos and also a link to my podcast and social media as well. So I'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I look forward to sharing more great content with you very soon. Bye for now.